questionnaire was given to all members of school community to find out which drink was the most popular to have with breakfast. The results are given in the table below, classified by the ages. And this is the table. So here we are talking about a chi-square test was conducted to decide whether the type of drink was independent of age or not. So we are talking about whether this drinks is independent of age or not. So in that case, if I talk about part A, so we are talking about find the number of degrees of freedom. So whenever we talk about degrees of freedom, so degrees of freedom would be always the number of rows minus 1 multiplied by the number of column minus 1. So here the number of rows we have is, so we have 3 different rows. So it has to be 3 minus 1. And the number of column we have is, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. So that's why it's going to be 4 minus 1. So 3 minus 1 is 2 and 4 minus 1 is 3. So that's why the degree of freedom is going to be just 6. So for part B, so we need to write down the null hypothesis and an alternate hypothesis. So here the null hypothesis would be, so we are checking whether it's independent, drink was independent of age or not. So in that case, my null hypothesis would be, it's independent, so drink is independent of age. So we can, to be more specific, we can say type of drink is independent of age. And the alternate hypothesis, they did not ask us, but in case if they would have been asked us, so that would be the type of drink which is not independent of age. So that would be my alternate hypothesis. So here, if I talk about part D, a critical value of chi-square at 5% significance level is given. So this is what is the critical value. So critical value represents if I have any values which are greater than this 12.59, I would reject it. So the critical value at 5% is given as 12.59. Chi-square test statistics is calculated to be 146 with the p-value is this. So this is my p-value and this is the 146. So we got the chi-square value as 146. And p-value also we have it. So which is something like 6.62 times 10 to the power of minus 29. So write down the conclusion reached for 5% significance level. So definitely we would reject the null hypothesis. The reason why we would reject the null hypothesis is, so we can state it in 2 ways. One is basically whatever the chi-square value we have gotten at, that's actually greater than the critical value. Because the chi-square value which we have got it as, which they have mentioned it here, is 146. If I get any value which is greater than the critical value, so we would reject it. So this is the one way that we could say it. Or the other way that we could say is, whatever the p-value we have gotten it, so which is nothing but 6.62 into 10 to the power of minus 29, this is actually lesser than the significance level, which is 5%. So we can say any one of the reasons. So that is why we would reject the null hypothesis. So which means here, the type of drink is not independent of the age. That's the right answer for this.